Yeah, you notice as he's coming out, he's not crashing and thrashing down on the water surface. He remains underneath. He's not even breaking the water tension on the top. If this was deep, dark, murky water, you'd have no idea that a 13, 14 foot croc is slowly sneaking in, because I'm already making a mistake. I'm way too close to the water's edge, because he can actually feel the vibrations that I'm sending out. And even greater than that, he can feel the pressure changes in the water. So the biggest mistake you can make, I can guarantee you, it happens every single day, is people go down into his water now. Charlie, he's been with us for a while, and he is a little bit cheeky. He likes to play a game called Come Closer, and as much as we think we're working him, he's looking back at us, and he's working us. So you can see his tail starting to twitch. He doesn't like me being in his water. So now he's a bit upset. He's all yours, Jimmy. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, man. We're actually meant to be best mates, and you set me up with what is by far the scariest croc in the Crocodile. Now, he normally wouldn't show himself like that. That's a bit of a captive trait, but he set himself up. Come on, Charlie. Look at the chicken, not at me. Whoa, how was that? Woo. Give it up for Charlie, guys. Does anyone have a spare pair of undies? Now, they'll attack for food, but also for territory as well. So, Harry, since you're already wet, mate, do you want to get back in the water?
Back in, I just got out. Like I said, my shoes are already
wet.
wet.
See Harry in the water again?
What could possibly go wrong? So you can see, even when we're only meters away, he wanted to go back into the water, because that's where he knows he's dangerous. Now, I'm not going to stay in the water for too long because the jig's already up, but when he really means business, he can strike out, and honestly, he could hit this back fence line in the blink of an eye. So if I go real quiet, it is because I'm nervous. He's already being a little bit cheeky, trying to cut me off. Catch up. You can see that tail starting to twitch again. Again, he's playing that game called Come Closer. Trying to swing around.
Yeah, mate.
He's under. Catch up. Go for it. Like I said, Charlie has a tendency to just do whatever he wants. And when you're a 350 kilo crocodile, you're allowed to do that. I'm definitely not going to tell him otherwise, because at day's end, me and Charlie aren't mates. We don't go down to the pub after this and have a laugh about how he pulled everyone's leg and put on a good show. Every single chance he can get, he's trying to grab me. Right now, he's just anticipating what the next part of the show is. Like I said, he's been doing this for a fair while. Come on, Charlie. Come on.
Now guys, like Harry said, as much as we're trying to work Charlie, he's figuring us out too. Crocodiles are incredibly smart. They've got a cerebral cortex that helps them learn and remember. So even though we try and condition them to come out certain parts of this enclosure, we can't actually get them to do anything they don't want to do. And in fact, they often will try and cut us off, set us up in a position that puts us in more danger. And that's exactly how they hunt in the wild too. If an animal comes down to the water's edge and has a drink, it'll only come down there for a short while. I'm going to go quiet. This is freaking me out too.
Come on, Charlie. Jeez, you know it's a lot bigger from up here. Come on. Oh. Give it up for him, guys. He's an awesome croc. No matter how long I've been doing this, it still makes me nervous every single day of the week. Honestly, it's more nerve-wracking when he comes out like that, nice and slow, just looking at you, than when he just explodes out of the water. You're right, mate. So we've shown you the strike from the water's edge a couple of times, but he does have another method that he uses to catch his food. I'll pass you over to Jimmy for that.
Cheers, mate. Now going back to what I was saying before, like I said, they're incredibly smart. And if they watch an animal come down to the watering hole to have a drink, they'll use this method as well, the tail walk. They'll watch it have a drink, that animal will go away. They know there's crocodiles up there in the hot Queensland sun. So they only come down for a bit. Now, as each day passes, that animal gets more and more comfortable and will spend a bit longer hanging out at those watering holes. That's what the crocs are waiting for. They're waiting for a pattern and a behaviour, and they'll set themselves up days in advance, waiting for that animal to show that same behaviour. He can hold his breath for 7 hours at a time. So don't let that be a mistake. If you go down to a watering hole, you haven't looked for a few hours, you haven't seen a croc, that doesn't mean anything. Like I said, 7 hours. Now they'll wait until that animal comes down, it's at its most comfortable, it might even get into the water, and that's when they'll actually strike. Crocs are built for one big burst, not endurance. So if they strike out, they really want to make it count, because they know if they miss, that animal is never going to come back to that territory for another shot for that croc to have a go. Now, this method, going back to the tail walk, is something that Charlie and any soldy will use from the time they hatch out of the egg. When they're only 15 centimetres long, they weigh about 30 grams, and at that size, most of the critters you saw out here earlier would love to eat one. So they hide away in the reeds, and they wait for insects, spiders, frogs, all that sort of stuff to have a go, and they'll use this method, which he's taken his time displaying today, to launch up and grab that prey item. Now they'll use it from Charlie's size and bigger. There you go, mate, come on. He's thinking about it now, I think. There we go. Charlie's size and bigger, possums, snakes, flying foxes, they're all on the menu. Oh, how was that? Hear that bang sound? And you heard it earlier today? 3,000 pounds per square inch jaw closing pressure, which means anything that goes in there is definitely not coming out. That's more than the 747 brakes have, or the car crushers at the tip that put a car into a cube. He's got more pressure than that in his mouth. So like I said, if something goes in there, it's not coming out. They crush a pig head like we crush a paper cup in our hands. I'm trying to lean over a bit more, Charlie, but I don't know if you noticed, I'm a bit vertically challenged and this doesn't feel right. Harry, you've got a bigger bit of... Oh no, here we go. You beauty. Let's see if we can't get another good tail walk out of him. Come on, fella. Nice work, Charlie. So guys, please, if you are up in Northern Australia, yeah, what an awesome dog. If you are up in Northern Australia, it might look like a good place to flick a lure or read a book, but you do have to be wary of the tail walking crocs.
Right, yeah, we're going to try and get him out one more time, you're all good, mate.
Thanks.
We're going to try and dispel one of the biggest myths about crocs. Everyone knows someone who says they've been chased down by a croc, they've tried to death roll them off their horse or something like that. If that's the case, Jimmy's definitely in trouble because his legs are a lot shorter than mine, but try and get him out. But once he's out on hard, solid ground like that, that is flat out for Charlie, not a word of a lie. Give it up for him, guys, isn't he awesome? Now that he is out on hard side ground, you can have a good look at him. You can see he does have a big round belly with only short little legs. He's probably designed a little bit like me, but that tail that he's got propels him for speeds of about 28 kilometers per hour in the water, but out here on land it just acts as a big old handbrake. You can see he wants to go straight back into the water. I could sit here all day and know that I'm completely safe. He's designed for life in the water and at the water's edge. So to avoid these awesome animals, it is honestly so easy. All you have to do is pretty much the complete opposite of what you see us doing every day. So stay right back from the water's edge. We say about 4 to 5 meters because we know their strike range is half their body weight. The largest ever recorded croc was about 7 meters long, so if you stay 4 to 5 meters back, you won't come into conflict with one of these beautiful animals striking out at you. Like Jimmy showed us, definitely never overhang the water, but please never enter the water up in crocodile territory. We don't need to be in the water to survive. If you're thirsty enough, get a bucket tied to a rope and throw it in the water. If you want to fish, you can cast your line from back here. If you have to be that close, you're probably not a good fisherman anyway, so don't worry about that. So if you follow those couple simple guidelines, you'll protect this beautiful animal for years to come. but also you guys will be nice and safe. Because at day's end, that's what we want. We want to educate you how to stay safe from crocodiles, because then we keep the crocodiles safe. Everyone thinks they're evil, ugly monsters going out there just to hunt and kill people. That's the complete opposite. All he's trying to do is catch himself and feed. But I definitely have to thank every single one of you for coming in here to learn about these animals, to take in their incredible beauty, because they are awesome. The conservation that the zoo does for this species and many others is next to none. It's something that Steve started way back in the day, and it's something that Robert is continuing with one of his new legacies. But I'll direct you up to the big screen and he can tell you a bit more about it.